representatives from most of those divisions here in Montana. And then on the volleyball roster for Rocky Mountain College, you need to throw in a couple of players from Wyoming, Olivia Lamy from Casper College, and Miranda Gallagher from Sheridan College, although she hails from Leeds, South Dakota. We are getting set for the Honor Guard and the National Anthem, so our YouTube viewers will stick around for that. And for KURL Radio, we'll go away for 2.5 minutes and come back with tonight's starting lineups and all the action. Back in 2.5 for radio and internet listeners.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to First Interstate Bank Court, the Education Center on the campus of Rocky Mountain College for today's Frontier Conference volleyball matchup between Carroll College and your 8th ranked Rocky Mountain College Battlin Bears. At this time, we ask that you please stand and remove any headgear and direct your attention to the south end of the gym as our friends from Warrior Wishes, Montana present today's colors.
Left, pace. Freeze and arms.
Please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
Special ceremony here at Rocky Mountain College before the matches as the Honor Guard from Warrior Wishes does a very solemn ceremony with the flag right in front of us, and we are getting set for our starting lineups. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's match between Carroll and Rocky. Ayla Carpenter wears number 1. She's a libero, a 5'9 junior from Graham, Washington. Number 4, Casey Berry, back in the lineup after an ACL rehab. She's a 5'6 DS, and she's from Tracy, California. Lexi Mickelson wears number 6, a 6'2 freshman outside hitter from 9 Mile Falls, Washington. Allie Williams is number 10. She's the setter, and she's a 6'1 freshman from Coeur d'Alene. Paige Woolen wears number 12. She's from Spokane, Washington. Christy Morgan wears number 13, a 6'1 middle hitter, senior from Anchorage. Brielle Bumgarner number 15, a 6'1 senior from Kalispell. Maddie Quick, number 17, a 5'3 defensive specialist, a sophomore, and from her hometown, Helena, Montana, Capital High School. Number 20 is Raina Pilgrim. For the homestanding Battling Bears, familiar names. Number 1 is Caitlin Heaslip, a 5'7 DS from Puyallup. Number 2, Krista Judish, a 5'9 DS senior from Conrad, Montana. Number 3, Haley Kapinga, a 5'10 right side, a senior from Billings. Number 4, Daniela Russell, an outside hitter, a 5'9 junior from Red Lodge, Montana. Number 5, Ruby Collenbeck, a 5'7 libero, a senior from Forsyth. Number 7 is Annie Cook from Joliet, Montana. Number 9, Natalie Hilderman, a 6'1 sophomore from Red Lodge, the setter. Number 10 is Miranda Gallagher, a 6-foot middle blocker, a junior from Lead, South Dakota, the beautiful Black Hills. Number 11, Olivia Lamy, a 5'9 senior middle blocker from Casper. And number 16, Naomi Badbear, a 6-foot middle from Billings, a junior. Coach for Rocky Mountain College, Lori Kelly. And for the Carroll College Fighting Saints, the coach is Maureen Boyle. And we're just about set to go here with Frontier Conference Elite Volleyball from Rocky Mountain College. I'm Herm Elenbaas, glad to have you along tonight. Carroll College to our left wearing the purple jerseys, and Rocky Mountain College the black jerseys with the green lettering. And we will see liberos. Number 1, Ayla Carpenter, will be wearing the red number 1 for Rocky Mountain College, and for Carroll, and for Rocky Mountain College it'll be Ruby Collenbeck coming in wearing the white jersey and wearing number 5. It's funny, these crowds here at Rocky always seem to build during the evening. We have people that trickle in throughout the night, always a lot of competition for the fan here, but this is teacher convention weekend in Billings, Montana, so some of the high school competition not out there. Raina Pilgrim will be the first server in the game, and she will load it up here from the right side and get us going. Carroll versus Rocky Mountain College Frontier Conference action. She whistles it to the backside. Hilderman sets up Lamy off the block, covered on the back row by Carroll, tipped over into the block, covered, and then Kapinga misses out the back door. And Carroll opens up with a miss by Haley Kapinga. Big gunner for Carroll College tonight. Keep an eye on Brielle Bumgarner. She's hitting .288 on the year. That's not a bad percentage. Casey Berry with a big knee brace. Number 4 playing in the back row. The serve is in play. Here's Lamy with a push over the top. It finds its way to the floor. We're tied up at 1. And Lamy has her first kill. Dribbles off the block of Allie Williams and found its way to the hardwood. And with the score tied at 1, Ruby Collenbeck goes back to serve. She'll open up with the left hand, take it down the line, passes on target from Lexi Mickelson, but the next play goes into the net, and Rocky has the 2-1 lead. Can't get it over the tape, and Ruby Collenbeck goes back to serve. Collenbeck rockets it to the backside, popped up by Carpenter, run down by Pilgrim, pushed over by Allie Williams into the block of Daniela Russell. Hilderman goes to the backside, Kapinga with a smash, and we've got a 3-1 score. Kapinga has great timing on those sets, and her and Hilderman have a couple of years now to work on it. And Kapinga, high flyer, so you'll see some pretty good torque on her downswings. Carpenter on target to Pilgrim. They go outside to Allie Williams, pushed back by Rocky Mountain College. To the middle this time, and that misses out the back door from Morgan Christie. And Rocky on a 4-point run here after giving Carroll the first point. Collenbeck back to serve. Always see quite a few high school teams watching. The dump shot attempt covered, and then Kapinga smashes, covered by Berry on the back row. Cross court, and the miss from Lexi Mickelson. She goes wide on the cross. 5-1. Now a 5-point run for Rocky, and Carroll College desperate for a side out before Rocky runs away and hides in his first set. Back to Carpenter, tight to the net. Pushed over, covered on the back row by Judish, and a lift is going to be called on Hilderman as she was chased to the net on the pass and got too much hand on that pass over the net. And into the game comes Paige Wolin. She will take her place on the front row for Carroll College. And back to serve, Lexi Mickelson. Mickelson tries the short one. Daniela Russell gets there, and I thought that was another lift call on Hilderman, but instead, Williams drifted into the net for Carroll. And Miranda Gallagher will come into the game, along with Annie Cook for Rocky Mountain College. Cook will go back to serve. She has 28 aces on the year. That's the high number on the Rocky Mountain College team. She loads up the jump serve, covered by Paige Wolin, pushed back by Daniela Russell on the swing. Hilderman to Kapinga, off the block, into the donut hole, and Kapinga has the kill. 7-2, Rocky Mountain College. First set here on Friday Night Volleyball in the Frontier Conference. Annie Cook loads it up again. Takes it deep, passes on target to Pilgrim. The set to the middle, blocked back by Gallagher. They try the outside. That's going to find its way off the block and down from Paige Wolin. Pretty solid touch there at the net on the block for Rocky, but it just took it in front of the cover on the back side for Rocky Mountain College. And back to serve goes Ayla Carpenter. Cook has the on-target pass. The set out to Kapinga. She unloads cross-court. Pilgrim has the dig. Wolin pushes it back to Cook. Here's Daniela Russell. She gets knocked back by the Carroll College Saints. Pushed over by Collenbeck. That's going to go on the floor. Collenbeck scores the kill. Wild pass under the net. And Ruby, the libero for Rocky Mountain College, gets the kill. 8-3, Rocky Mountain College. And Haley Kapinga back to serve. She will rocket it cross court to Williams. Pushed over. Collenbeck with a dig. Hilderman the quick. Gallagher puts it down. Those are sweet plays when you get that timing going on the quick, and Gallagher takes it down. Mo Boyle will call the timeout. 9-3 Rocky. We're back in 60 seconds.
Don't let an injury or pain in your bones, joints, or muscles slow you down. Billings Clinic Orthopedics and Sports Medicine can help. Their team of orthopedics and sports medicine doctors, physical therapists, occupational therapists, and athletic trainers work together in a unique way for patients of all ages. Billings Clinic Orthopedics and Sports Medicine team helps get everyday athletes back on their feet because life is a sport. For more information or to make an appointment, visit BillingsClinic.com/ortho. David Coons and Chris Mulvig at Stifel are committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. Stifel is a full-service wealth management firm that specializes in a wide range of investment opportunities from the most conservative to the more aggressive. They strive to give each client, regardless of account size, careful individual attention. Call financial advisors Dave Coons or Chris Mulvig today at 252-2447. Steve Stifel, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange, 252-2447.
Out of the timeout, Kapinga will try to push the points here for the Battlin Bears, number 8 in the nation. Back to Carpenter. Carpenter with the pass to Pilgrim to the outside. Covered by Rocky Mountain College. Bump set to Daniela Russell. Knocked back by the block. Williams gets the block. Covered by Carroll College. The set to the middle, and Bumgarner the kill off the block. Brielle Bumgarner makes her first kill of the night, and it's 9-4. Boy, for someone who's the leading hitter for the team to have her coming in this late, I wonder sometimes how that affects the early scoring. And back to serve goes Maddie Quick, also from Capital. Tipped over for Gallagher, saved by Carpenter. The set cross court, dig for Ruby Collenbeck. Second load goes down. Paige Wolin gets the second load to fall. Collenbeck got the dig on the first one. It's 9-5, 2 points in a row for Carroll College. And Maddie Quick, a 5'3" sophomore, back to serve for Carroll College. Takes it deep, Kapinga with a flying pass there. Russell to the floor. Carpenter can just wave at it, and Daniel Russell has the side out, 10-5. Russell and Lamy and Kapinga, none of them get cheated on their swings about 90% of the time. I mean, they see that ball coming, and they get lit up and put the wood to it, and that serve goes into the net for the Carroll side out from the hand of Daniela Russell. Into the game to serve comes Casey Berry. First game back after the ACL. Good for her. Fight her way back to the floor. And Berry will get the signal from the sideline, load it up, shoot it cross court. Cook has the on-target pass. They try Gallagher for the slide, into the net, swept out of the net. Carroll is alive, pushed over, and covered on the swing by Mickelson. Pilgrim tries the other side. Bumgarner, another kill as Lamy doesn't close the block. So how about that for effectiveness from Bumgarner? 2 kills in a row when she finally makes it into the rotation. And Berry back to serve. You always wonder how these defensive specialists can play with those huge knee braces, but Berry will show us tonight. And that misses out the back door by Olivia Lamy. She went to the short part of the court and ended up about a foot long. And all of a sudden, Carroll's within 2. Good rotation here for Carroll College. And Casey Berry goes back to serve. Tries the short stuff. Lamy, nice pass to Hildeman, right back to Lamy, off the block, pushed over, Kapinga with a save, and a blind dump shot by Hildeman. What a play. She's looking right at me and throws the little dump shot over her shoulder for the kill. Perfect location, 11-8. Rocky with a neat side out there, no matter what team you're rooting for. Gallagher back to serve for the ace. That's her 28th ace of the year. She has now tied Annie Cook for the lead on the team. So after that inspiring blind dump shot for Hilderman, Gallagher comes back with the ace. Loads it up again, takes it deep. 2 players can't decide. Pushed over by Pilgrim. What a play. Swept into the air by Bumgarner. Now she's in the way. That's going to go off into the stands, and it's going to be Rocky Mountain point. Raina Pilgrim could not get past Brielle Bumgarner. Kind of an awkward situation there. And Gallagher, 2 straight service points. 13-8 is restored order for her team. From the back row, the pass is on target. Solid block by Hildeman that time. Mickelson gets rejected, and the deflection goes off into the stands. And Carroll College woke up Rocky with that run, and now Rocky has come back strong. And into the game comes Kelsey Sargent for Carroll College from Big Timber, Montana. Went to Billings Senior, so familiar face for local fans. Pushed over. What a nice play for Gallagher on the surprise push, but a lift called on the set by Lamy. 14-9, side out Carroll. Krista Judish will come in. Hails from Conrad, Montana. It's way up north of Great Falls if you got your Montana map handy. And in the game to serve now for Carroll comes Laurel Casa. Second Casa to play for Carroll College. I think it was Natalie Casa that played before. Set to nobody. Kapinga got under the net, but nobody called it. Here's the set to the outside and a pounding kill for Sargent. Wow. She smoked that one. Give that kill to Laurel Casa, 5'8" sophomore. And that brings the timeout from Rocky Mountain College as Carroll's making some noise and has pulled to within 4, 14-10. We're back in 60 seconds.
That's why if you look at Connemar Superstores for
Casa goes back to serve as we come out of the timeout. 14-10 Rocky. Casa sets up on the left side. Floats it back to Collenbeck. Perfect pass. The set to Lamy. Blocked back by Carroll. Pushed over by Bad Bear. Here's the bump set to Sargent, and she misses the back line. Sargent, a 5'9" freshman. And Rocky still rolling on the Herm Elenbaas momentum meter. Rocky has momentum right now, and that'll bring back Ayla Carpenter. Here's Hilderman. Couple of good servers in a row for Rocky between Gallagher and Hilderman. Cross court, that's going to be down, and a kick save attempt by Hilderman. Actually, two kick saves as the soccer team applauds that move here from Rocky Mountain College. And the kill goes down for Paige Wolin. And Carroll gets a much-needed side out. The fan throws the ball back. And maybe they can get a player to, isn't that what they do in baseball sometimes? They go down later and say, hey, I caught this foul tip, and they sign the ball. Well, maybe they should do that here. But they don't like to give away their volleyballs. Pilgrim, the quick, and a jam through the block for Bad Bear. She's got her entire family watching across the way, including her sister Cola, who is sidelined for her high school career after an ACL injury. She'll miss the basketball season and the rest of the volleyball season. She was very good, one of the best in the state in both sports. The swing over the top, covered by Ruby Collenbeck. Out to Russell. Ayla Carpenter has the dig. Out to Sargent. Sargent unloads, feathers it off the block. Judish has the dig. Backside, Kapinga. Nothing they can do with that one. Push at the net and into the open corner from the front row. Morgan Christie puts it away. And the lead back to 4 for Rocky Mountain College. Transition ball at the net. That battle won by Carroll College. And Lexi Mickelson back to serve for the Saints. Pilgrim divided her time last year with another setter. That's just skims the net. Overpass. Saved with one arm by Bad Bear. Now Kapinga rolls it over. Covered. Pilgrim, the jump set, put away on the front row by Carroll Allie Williams. And the momentum meter threatening to swing back to Carroll here as they're within 3, 16-13. And back to serve Lexi Mickelson. Mickelson shoots it back to Russell, the quick to the backside. Kapinga gets dug out. Ayla Carpenter, bump set. Paige Woolen, dug out by Judish. To Kapinga, she hits the donut hole. She elevates and puts it down. Kapinga, by the way, a lofty 5'10", so she's not one of those 6'3" slammers. She's only 5'10" with some hops, and that gets the side out for Rocky, 17-13. Annie Cook back to serve, trying to get her lead back in aces. She's tied now, cross court. Hilderman calmly gets the dig. The set to Russell from Kapinga. On the cross, it goes down. Ayla Carpenter a step slow in getting that to that one, and Russell scores the kill. Rocky back up with breathing room by 5, 18-13, as Annie Cook loads it up for the Battlin Bears. Takes it deep. Might have been long, played by Mickelson. The set to Wolin off the block, covered by Ruby Collenbeck. Here's Kapinga, knocked back in a stuff block for Carroll. Morgan Christie and Wolin combined for that stuff block, and Carroll refuses to go away, 18-14. First set here at Rocky Mountain College. Ayla Carpenter back to serve from the left corner. Right down the line. Cook reaches out, makes the pass, pushed over by Gallagher. Carpenter has the dig. To the outside to Wolin, she misses. Side out Rocky. Haley Kapinga will go back to serve, but we are going to see a substitute for her. Not for her. Sometimes they bring in Heaslip to serve for Kapinga. And on the front row, Monique Rodriguez. First, we're going to have a Carroll timeout. 19-14 Rocky. Good first set. We're back in 60. Here we go, the final third of this first set. Rocky with the 5-point lead. Kapinga dinking around with the ball, loses it, giggles, gets the ball back. You only see that in women's volleyball. Guys never do the giggle thing. And Kapinga loads it up. Carpenter on target to Pilgrim. Bumgarner, another kill. Boy, her kill efficiency in this match tonight has to be about 1,000. I'm serious, she has not missed any set to her, and a lot of it has been just pure power off the block and down. And for Carroll College, Maddie Quick goes back to serve. 5'3" sophomore from Helena Capital, right in the middle of the floor. Did a bunch of her state tournament games in high school. The set goes to Russell, and a deflection off of Mickelson takes it away from Carpenter for the kill. And Rocky's at 20. Got their laser sights on winning this first one when they can get 5 more points. And back to serve goes Rodriguez, and she misses 2016. Rodriguez is from Beaumont, California, Beaumont High School. She's a 5'10" sophomore. Casey Berry back to serve for Carroll. And Casey Berry takes it deep, gives it back. So 21-16. Back-to-back service errors. Miranda Gallagher goes back to serve for Rocky. Waits for the signal. Badbear in the front row again for Rocky Mountain College, along with Lamy. Little hop, skip, and a jump. Boy, nice serve and a nice recovery. Mickelson off the block. Kapinga keeps it alive. Flipped over by Hildeman. Pushed over by Pilgrim. Covered by Rocky. Lamy gets the set. Off the block and down. Out of the reach of Mickelson. Frantic rally there. Good effort by both teams, and Rocky scores it 22-16. And Gallagher goes back to serve. And look for Quick to get this one. She does. Pilgrim to the backside. Bumgarner again. She keeps that perfect hitting night going. Side out Carroll. Watch number 15. So far she hasn't even got a serve or a set, kill attempt return. She's got about 4 kills. Stats will not show that, of course, but Jenna Stark in the game. That's not Stark, that's Laurel Casa back in the game. And she floats it over, long run for Judish, gets there. The set to Badbear, solid stuff block from the middle of Carroll College. Morgan Christie with the SB there. 22-18, side out Carroll. And back to serve goes Laurel Casa again. Casa moves over a couple steps to the left side and loads up a deep one and gives the point to Rocky. Rocky's 2 points away from a first set win. Natalie Hilderman back to serve. A sophomore from Red Lodge, Montana. Hilderman, a very short approach, cross court. Carpenter, Pilgrim tries the dump shot right there, and Kapinga gets dug out on a straight down smash. Bumgarner finally gets passed up. Here, Kapinga, blocked to the floor by Carroll. What a play. And score the stuff block from Morgan Christie, 23-19. And 2 coaches go out to talk to the team here from Rocky Mountain College, Jan and Lori Kelly. Here's Pilgrim. She'll set up on the right corner, trying to make the incredible comeback. They've only got 2 points to spare here. Here's Hilderman, the quick to Badbear behind the block. Right there is Pilgrim, saw it coming. Ayla Carpenter, the bump set to Sargent. She gets it inside the aerial, dug out by Lamy. Kapinga off the top of the block. Carpenter is there. Bump set back out to Sargent, cross court, and a net violation on Rocky. And Carroll's within 3. Pilgrim back to serve. The level of intensity in this match has picked up over the last 10 minutes. And Raina Pilgrim back to serve. Usually you see a lot of intensity between Carroll and Rocky. Judish with the pass. The quick to Kapinga. They ran a play in the middle. Badbear drew off a couple blockers. Kapinga, let's call her the flying Kapinga on that one, gets Rocky to set point, 24-20. So Lori Kelly hauls out the play, and it works to perfection. They drew off the blockers, and Kapinga had a solo to work against. Collenbeck down the line. Sargent gets the pass. The set to the outside. Cross-court swing by Williams. And Russell gets the finisher. 25-20 in the first set. Rocky wins. Will take a 2.5-minute break and come back with set number 2. Back at Rocky Mountain College, I'm Herm Elenbaas on KURL 93.3 FM, KURLradio.com, and YouTube. And you YouTube people have a nice luxury of watching this. Our sponsors tonight, Pharmacy One, Western Security Bank, the Pella Window Store, Stewart's House of Vacuums, Terry Tronson at the Tronson Agency, McBride & McBride Optometrist, Billings Clinic, Ortho Montana, Conamart Superstores, Roger Daniel at Farmers Insurance, Montana State University, Billings, Dave Coons and Chris Mulvig at Stiefel Investments. And we appreciate every one of them for making volleyball on the radio possible here in Billings, Montana. So they'll switch sides, so Carroll will be on the right side of your TV screens. Rocky will move to the left. And Carroll played well for parts of that first set, but they had a slow start and never really caught up with the number 8 Rocky Mountain College. So let's take a look at some stats. Brielle Bumgarner, they gave her 1,000%, which means that they missed that one that she didn't get to the floor, but she has 4 kills, 4 digs for Carpenter, 4 digs for Collenbeck. Here goes Hilderman for the 8. So the two people that were close to Annie Cook have now picked up an ace. Annie Cook hasn't. We got real drama going here in the stats. Cook had 28 aces, Gallagher had 27 coming in, and Hilderman had 26. A nice attempt by Judas, keeps it alive, pushed over by Rocky Mountain College's Lamy. The set to the middle, that's nowhere. And the hitting percentage for Rocky in the first set, 282. Carroll hit 135. Rocky was led by Kapinga, who had 5 kills and 14 swings. Here's Hilderman, 2-0 Rocky. Swept it into the air by Carpenter. They go to the middle that time. Saved on the back row by Ruby Collenbeck. Pushed over by Lamy. Covered by Pilgrim. Here's the set. To the outside. Williams gets it off the block and down on the back row for Carroll College. And they are on the board. And they stop the bleeding early. Allie Williams, and back to serve goes Mickelson. Lexi Mickelson from 9 Mile Falls, Washington. You wonder how far that is from whatever when they say 9 Mile Falls. Kapinga off the block, trying to hit it to knee, and gets it down, squirrels it off the block for the kill, 3-1. She's got 6 kills now on the night. 3 blocks for Carroll, and 1 for Rocky Mountain College. Collenbeck, as I said, the leader in digs for Rocky with 4. And she steps back to serve for the Battling Bears. Push, pass, and off the block. Kapinga keeps it alive. Bad Bear pounds it off of Pilgrim. Oh my. Pilgrim was there. She was squared up. Just too much blur ball from the swing. 4-1 Rocky. They're starting out strong in the second set. Collenbeck loads it up. Gets the ace. A shankopotamus from Morgan Christie. And Mo Boyle has to call the timeout. Strong start for Rocky after a big pep talk between sets, and all that for naught as Rocky breaks out to the 5-1 lead. We're back in 30 seconds. Well, you wonder, when you look at the Rocky team, and of course any team out there, they have different levels that they play at. You always wonder what level we're watching and how long that high-flying ability for a team can last before you sink back down to earth. But right now, Rocky Mountain College is playing a pretty high level of volleyball, and they started out very strong in this second set as Kelsey Sargent waits to come in for the Carroll College Saints. She will replace Lexi Mickelson. And Carroll wants a side out. Kind of a late substitution after the timeout. Ruby Collenbeck loads it up, takes it right to Sargent. Long run for Pilgrim. Bumps it over here to Carroll, and it's dug out by Rocky. To Kapinga. She gets popped up in the air in the back row by Pilgrim. Those two have been going at it for years. Ayla Carpenter pushes it over. Judish gets the pass. Outside to Russell. Russell to off the top of the block. Carpenter with a dig to the backside by Williams. She is covered. Here's Russell to the floor. Sargent a step slow on that. 6-1, and Russell ends that long rally with a kill. And Ruby Collenbeck pushing the points here for the Battlin Bears. Collenbeck loads up the left hand again, right down the line to Sargent, tight to the net. Saved by Pilgrim, and a stuff at the net for Bad Bear. She solidly stuffs that one as the attempt came across from Allie Williams, and it went nowhere, ran into the Bad Bear wall of fame. And Collenbeck still serving. Lead is now 6, and there's a ace for Collenbeck. 2 players said, I'll take it, no, you take it, and Allie Carpenter gets credit for the error there. She shanks it into the front row of the crowd. 8-1, Collenbeck back to serve. This time Carpenter says, it's mine, and pushed over the top by Morgan Christie to the floor for Bad Bear. Naomi Bad Bear to the floor, 9-1. Nothing working for Carroll in the early going. Into the game comes Jenna Stark. And Jenna, also from Helena, Montana, gets to play in front of the home crowd most of the time. Rocky threatening to go up by 9 here. Collenbeck loads up the serve. Carroll needs something good to happen. Baby Shank covered off the top of the block by Stark. Here's Hilderman to Kapinga. She bounces it off the block. Covered by Sargent. Carpenter gets there. Pushed over by Stark. Hildeman to the outside. Russell. Good dig for Sargent, but nobody covers. Confusion. As on the front row, Williams and Pilgrim played no you take it. Rockies in double digits, 10 points, and Carroll still stuck on one. Another timeout for Carroll College, and we're back in 60. Rocky Mountain College playing like a number 8 team in the first part of this match and this set. They're up 10-1. And Collenbeck will try to keep the pain going. Pilgrim to the backside, push to the floor. Boy, Carroll needed that. Allie Williams put the thunder on that one to get the side out. That may bring a half smile to Mo Boyle's face. 10-2. Carroll's got their first point after 9 straight for Rocky. Ayla Carpenter back to serve. She poses, now pushes it over to Russell, bump set back to Daniela, and she is stuffed. So Carroll gets 2 in a row. Williams with a solid stuff on the outside. 10-3. Carpenter goes back to serve again. Carpenter from Coeur d'Alene, one of the prettiest towns in the west on the beautiful Lake Coeur d'Alene. Here's Kapinga. They find her on the set. Easy dig for Raina Pilgrim. They go to Williams for another kill. And Carroll comes back with 3 straight out of the timeout, trying to make this interesting. Trying to get Rocky a little bit out of their rhythm here by getting them on their heels. Carpenter back to serve. And gets the ace, Judich. And a teammate back there, I think it was Russell, couldn't decide who was going to play it. And that will bring in a substitute. Our first look at Caitlin Heaslip tonight from Puyallup, Washington. She gets brought in to save the day for Rocky after Carroll scores 4 straight. Carpenter, cross court, Heaslip, baby shank, covered by Hilderman. Russell, dug out by Sargent. The set cross court by Page, Wolin. And the swing dug out by Carpenter into the block. Kapinga ate that one up. Another victory for Kapinga over rival Raina Pilgrim. All Pilgrim could do was get the top of her fist on it, tight to the net. Kapinga launched, seeing that coming, and pushed it straight down. 11-5, a side out for Rocky before Carroll got too close. Annie Cook flops it off the net. Right there is Bumgarner. Bumgarner doesn't get the set. Moran does and puts it away. Calling for the tip. It's not there. No tip, but Carroll wanted it there. 2 in a row now for Rocky. It's 12-5 as Cook goes back to serve. Cook loads up the left hand. Carpenter tight to the net for Pilgrim. The set to Moran. Dug out by Collenbeck. Kapinga gets the load. Pushed back by Bumgarner. To the outside to Russell. There's a double block waiting, knocking it back to Rocky. Kapinga blocked back, and they give the point to Carroll. Bumgarner all over the place. She's hitting nearly 1,000, and now she is owning the net. What a great match for Bumgarner, even though Carroll is down 1-0. 12-6, second set. Rocky is up. And back to serve goes Maddie Quick. Bump set. Here comes the flying Kapinga. Quick has the dig. Pushed into the block by Raina Pilgrim. Pilgrim sets up Bumgarner. This time a dig. Pushed over by Kapinga. 2 players collide. A pass squirts out of it. And a miss for Brielle Bumgarner. That is a rarity here tonight. 13-6. Rocky up by 7. Kapinga moves off the front line. Some games you watch Kapinga and it's like there's two of them out there. She is so quick, and now a passing error from Carroll takes the lead to 8 for the Battlin Bears. She can be in one spot, and then all of a sudden she's on the back line making a diving save. Comes back up, makes the flying Kapinga smash. Now she's back to serve, goes cross court. Maddie Quick has the pass, the set to Moran, dug out by Kapinga, just like I said. Gallagher pushes it over to Carpenter, to Moran. Little push shot, Kapinga's there again. Gallagher pushes it into the block of Bumgarner. They load up Gallagher again. Bumgarner again. Can they get it past Bumgarner? Yes, they do that time. And Raina Pilgrim gets knocked back by the block. Here's Bumgarner to the floor. She fingernails it into the donut hole and celebrates 14-7. Bumgarner played at Glacier High School, a team that has never won a state championship in their existence here in Montana, but they have turned out a lot of good players. Casey Berry with the knee brace, back to serve. Annie Cook chases Hilderman to the slide set, and Gallagher pays it off. Sargent was there. Gallagher pushes it through the block of Sargent. Side out Rocky, 15-7. Daniela Russell back to serve for the Battlin Bears. Russell takes it down the line. The pass by Berry, pushed over by Carroll. A tip behind the block, covered by Carpenter. Here's Sargent cross court, covered by Rocky. Over to Lamy. Lamy gets blocked back. Punched in the air by Maddie Quick. And down the line for Sargent. She went line right behind her. Carpenter said line. And Maddie Quick gets it to the, or Sargent rather, gets it to the floor with the coaching of Ayla Carpenter in her ear. Side out, Carroll. I was right here. I heard it. And back to serve, Laurel Casa. Casa reaches back, sends it over to Cook. Hilderman to Gallagher. That was just inside the aerial. She dialed it perfectly and gets it off of Casa for the kill. Side out Rocky, 16-8. Carpenter will come back out on the floor as Miranda Gallagher goes back to serve. Rocky playing solidly throughout this second set. They have the 1-0 lead. Service error for Gallagher. Carroll side out. Back to serve goes Raina Pilgrim. She is the daughter of the basketball coach at Helena Capital. And a key part of her career was playing for her dad on the basketball floor. Played here at Rimrock Auto Arena for a state tournament game or two. The set to Lamy, down on the floor. Pilgrim had a hand on it. All she could do was hit it into the spider net. And it's 17-9 Rocky. Gallagher waits for the call, puts it up, back to Carpenter, perfect pass to Pilgrim. They load up the backside. Sargent gets the kill on the net violation. And now we're trading points, 17-10. New load of players coming in for Carroll. Lots of purple coming out onto the floor. To the bench will go Jenna Stark. And Morgan Christie will come out. Will come in rather. Also Lexi Mickelson. She'll take the ball and run back to serve. Mickelson back to serve. Carroll and Rocky trading points. That's fine with Rocky as they have a 7-point lead. Mickelson down the line. Judish with a good pass. Cross court set to Lamy. Would have been out. Played by Mickelson. Here's Moran. Stuff block by Rocky, but it's out of bounds. And we will give the ball back. I get my first play of the night as your announcer. 17-11. Big smile from Mickelson as they gave her the ball back. 17-11 Rocky. Kapinga the flying swing. No good, but Carroll gets it over. Pushed over at the last minute by Moran. Outside, Lamy. Lamy the kill on the back line. Good effort by Carpenter. Just couldn't steer it back to her buddies. And Rocky's at 18 as we continue to trade points. And back to serve goes Ruby Collenbeck. Collenbeck will send the left-handed serve down the line. Sargent shanks. Ace Collenbeck. That's her second of the night. 19-11. So I wonder if her parents knew she was going to have red hair when they named her Ruby. Kind of fits. Have to ask them sometime when I see him. Carpenter, perfect pass to Raina Pilgrim. The set to Williams on the floor. Carroll gets a side out, 19-12. Bumgarner in the game. She's changed the game for the good every time she's come in tonight. Ayla Carpenter back to serve. Stationary on the left corner, sends it back to Russell. Hilderman takes the perfect pass, loads up Kapinga, stabbed into the air, and Carroll keeps it alive. To the other side, Russell tries the tip, covered by Pilgrim. Bump set, back to Williams, through the block and down. Carroll point, 19-13. Always get a good crowd here of local Carroll fans. They have a really strong Catholic high school here in Billings, and they send a lot of players to Carroll, and they come out and support Carroll sometimes. Here's the swing by Bad Bear, and here comes Bumgarner again. Has there been a time on the floor where she hasn't fired up her team and made a play? I don't think so. This time a stop block. She's hitting in the high sevens. And what an impact player tonight for Carroll. 19-14. Carpenter loads it up to try to make it closer. Cross court, Russell pops it up. She'll get the back row attack. And right between Sargent and Carpenter, they stared at each other, frozen in time. And some of the looks that these two exchange. Now they're going to be buddies again as they slap five. Rocky gets the side out. Annie Cook back to serve. Always enjoyed watching Sargent play, and a service error for Cook. And suddenly Carroll's within five. And it was 10-1 to start this set, and Carroll has made the set interesting in spite of that super start by the Battling Bears. Maddie Quick back to serve for Carroll. Middle of the floor, would have been out, played by Collenbeck. Set to Russell, cross court, Carpenter on target to Pilgrim, and a double is called on the set. Bumgarner was not going to get that one down anyway. It was kind of too high, and she went up and had to reach and fingernailed it over. Point Rocky. 21-15 as Haley Kapinga goes back to serve. She'll go cross court to Maddie Quick. The quick set, Bumgarner punched into the air by Collenbeck somehow on the power. Carpenter, Pilgrim. Here's Moran, wide open. The little slide move by Bumgarner moved the block to the outside, opened up a lane for Moran to put to the floor. 21-16. Strategy for Carroll there, and it worked to perfection. Casey Berry back to serve. Carroll trying to keep Rocky from closing out the second set. Casey Berry loads it up, takes it deep. Annie Cook, perfect pass to Hilderman. The back set, Lamy gets pushed back all the way on one. The dump by Hilderman, a player on the floor, pushed over. How did Carroll survive that? The quick to Bumgarner. Dig for Kapinga. It's going to find the floor. Another play for superstar Bumgarner. Oh, it's fun to watch players step it up and be impact players. Rocky 21, Carroll 17. Casey Berry back to serve right in front of Casey from Channel 2. The short serve, Cook gets there, swept into the air. Back row attack for Collenbeck. Pilgrim tries the dump shot. Kapinga saw it coming. Russell, Carpenter, and Pilgrim needed 2 more inches of hang time, and the point goes to Carroll. A touch. Somebody touched it and it was going out of bounds for Rocky Mountain College, and it's a 3-point game after Rocky opened up 10-1. Who'd have thunk it? Casey Berry loads it up. Right there's Kapinga. She gets the slide set from Hilderman, covered by Rocky and pushed over for the point. Rocky gets the big side out. They needed that one. Carroll was crawling up their taillights there. And Daniela Russell back to serve for the Battlin Bears. We've got Rocky Western tomorrow. Almost an ace. Carpenter gets it. Sargent. And a lift is called on the set by Pilgrim. And Rocky is 2 points away. They scored 2 straight after Carroll got within 3 after a huge, furious comeback. Here's Russell from the left corner. One of the few right-handed servers. Carpenter, Pilgrim, Bumgarner to the donut hole. And look at her celebrate. Wow. Can't wait to see her numbers after 2 sets. She gets the side out for Carroll. And Rocky can't celebrate yet. 23-19. And back to serve for Carroll, Laurel Casa. Casa takes it back to Cook. Flat pass. Gallagher has to chase the set. Pilgrim tries the dump shot in the corner. Collenbeck saw it coming. Here's Lamy. Lamy for the kill. Jenna Stark, or Maddie Quick rather, punched it in the air right over the back row cover of Barry. And Rocky has Carroll at set point. Casa goes to the bench. And into the game comes Ayla Carpenter. Trying to take it home goes Miranda Gallagher for the Battlin Bears. Hop, skip, and a jump serve. Carpenter, Pilgrim. Here's Sargent, covered by Collenbeck, pushed over by Lamy, right to Sargent. The set back to Lamy, off the block, covered by Kapinga. Back to Lamy for the win. There's a touch there. Oh, they gave it to Carroll. Okay, won't say anything there. 24-20, Carroll gets the point. I said this before, but I got probably unique perspective for some of those touches, and that might have been what happens there. And back to serve for Carroll goes Pilgrim. Judish up to Hilderman. The set to the outside to Lamy. Rocky trying to finish it. A bump set to Sargent, right back to Judish. Hilderman, the quick to Bad Bear, balances on the net, comes back. Bad Bear with a second load. Still alive for Carroll, pushed over by Sargent, but a messy push by Sargent, and they give the point to Rocky for the win. 25-20. Rocky pulls out the second set. They lead 2 sets to none. After they had the 10-1 lead, Carroll fought back, got within 3, but Rocky
enjoying the game on KURL Billings and KURLradio.com. It's 55 degrees at 7:58. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 36. On Saturday, sunny with a high near 72. Southwest wind 6 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear with a low around 40. Southwest wind 5 to 8. On Sunday, sunny with a high near 64. North wind around 5 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 38. On Monday, sunny with a high near 61.
Building a new home or replacing windows and doors? Look to Pella Windows and Doors. Pella offers high-efficiency windows and doors built specially for you. Pella offers pre-finished interiors and exteriors and innovative between-the-glass blinds and shades. Your expert Pella representative will help you design and enhance the beauty of your home, whatever the size or budget. Visit your Pella showroom in Billings at 2520 Grand Avenue. Pella, viewed to be the best.
Back at Rocky Mountain College, Rocky with the 2-0 lead, trying to make quick work of their Frontier Conference rivalry with Carroll College here on the home court and complete a sweep during the regular season. So far in the hitting efficiency, Rocky has 221 on the night, and they are led by 6 kills from Daniela Russell in 19 swings. She's hitting .263, also 6 for Kapinga. She is hitting .087. And for Miranda Gallagher, 3 kills, no errors, 231. Well, we've been talking about Brielle Bumgarner. How about 7 kills in the stat book? I know she had 1 error, but they don't show it. 7 of 10 for 700. Not bad. Carroll hit 150. 24 kills so far in 80 swings. They hit 163 in the second set. Rocky hit 170 in the second set. The leaders defensively, 13 digs for Carpenter, 11 for Judish, 6 blocks for Carroll, 3 for Rocky Mountain College. And let's go with set number 3. These two teams came in both with solid blocking on the year. Carroll was hitting 228 blocks, 2.28 blocks per set. Rocky, 2.51 blocks per set. Back to serve Mickelson, right over to Judish. She's got the pass, the set to Lamy, high off the block, diving save for Pilgrim. Carpenter will load up Williams for the stuffer from Bad Bear. Rocky leads in the third set. Bad Bear goes up strong and puts up the wall of Bad Bear to shut it down. Natalie Hilderman back to serve. Cross court, passes on target to Pilgrim. The quick off the block and down. Carroll responds. Morgan Christie with the put away. And back to serve goes Ayla Carpenter. 2 points deep into the third set, all squared away. 1-1 and 1 back to serve. Service error, Rocky leads 2-1. Ruby Collenbeck will drift back to serve for Rocky Mountain College. Rocky trying to win their 7th straight in conference play. Carroll trying to pick up win number 5 in the conference. Williams has the pass. Bumgarner, diving save, pushed over by Kapinga, covered by Carroll. Carpenter, bump set to Moran. It's on the floor. We're tied up at 2. Carroll going to have a better set here and force Rocky to play really well to sweep them here tonight. 14 sweeps during their 19-match win streak for Rocky Mountain College. Maddie Quick back to serve for Carroll. Russell on target to Hilderman. They go to Kapinga, a little bit behind her. She has to wait for the set. Dug out by Carroll. Moran dug out by Collenbeck. Back row attack coming from Judas. She loops it back to Carpenter. Pilgrim loads up the slide set. Long run, that's going to be down. And give the kill to Carroll. Didn't see who hit that one. Oh, Bumgarner again. Who else? When in doubt, say Bumgarner. You're going to have it right. Maddie Quick back to serve. Carroll with a 1-point lead. 3-2. Just over the net. Judish with the on-target pass to Russell off the block. Long run covered by Carroll. Hilderman reloads to Kapinga. It's on the floor. We're tied up at 3. She jams it through the block of Bumgarner that time. Sargent made a nice play on the back line for Carroll to keep that rally going that time. Annie Cook back to serve for the Battlin Bears. Cook from Joliet, Montana, not too big of a town, about 30 miles from here. And a lift is called on the set. Carroll leads. 4-3 Carroll. That'll move Moran to the bench and bring in Casey Berry for the Fighting Saints. Berry gets the call on the serve from the sidelines. Carroll trying to get some separation here. Only up by 1. Russell, Hilderman, the set to Kapinga. Carpenter settles under that knock off the block. Sargent misses out the back door. We're tied up again at 4. Trading points here in the early part of this third set. Rocky up 2-0 here at First Interstate Bank Court. Haley Kapinga back to serve for the Bears. Cross court. Berry has the perfect pass. The set to Sargent. That's off the block and down. Boy, that was a weird looking pass by Hilderman. She knows it. Doesn't need any comments on that from anybody. And Carroll has the 5-4 lead. Laurel Casa back to serve for the Saints. Casa with a stationary serve. Down the line to Kapinga. Perfect pass to Hilderman. They go to the slide set to Gallagher, who misses. Net violation, Carroll gives a kill to Gallagher. We're tied up at 5. The net was moving. Somebody bumped into the net for Carroll. Carpenter comes back into the game, the athletic libero for Carroll College. Daniela Russell back to serve. Herm Elenbaas on YouTube, KURL Radio, and KURLradio.com. When there's one of those Natalie Hildeman blind dumps, doesn't work. Lamy puts up the block, and they have to hit it over there. They're set to Lamy, and she hits the back line. The back thread on the ball hits the back line, and Rocky takes the 1-point lead, 6-5. Lamy's been quiet tonight. She has not run up her usual numbers here. Russell shoots it back, perfect pass, and to the floor for the front row, and count that kill from Morgan Christie. That was a great defensive play from Maddie Quick to keep that one alive, and we're tied up at 6. Typical set between Rocky and Carroll, point for point, and athletic plays everywhere, almost too many to mention. Raina Pilgrim shoots it back to Cook, bumped over by Hildeman. That was the only play she had. Here's Williams. Cook with a baby shank, covered by her teammate. Back row attack for Kapinga. She is covered by Barry. The set to the outside, bumped over with a fist for Carroll. The swing by Lamy into the corner for the kill, right over the head of Mo Boyle. Olivia Lamy is making some noise here in the latter part of this match. Miranda Gallagher back to serve for the Battlin Bears. Tell us where you're listening. If you're watching or listening online, always good to see how far the internet stretches as far as fans for these teams. Pushed over. Lamy loads it up again. High bounce off the block. Kelsey Sargent gets there. The set back to Kelsey Sargent. Colin Beck is equal to the dig. Out to Lamy on the back line for the miss. Just missed it that time. Caught it with the back thread of the ball before. That time she gave it away with a little bit too much muscle. 8-6. Rocky's still up by 2 here at the Fortin Center. Nice crowd here on Friday night. Gallagher rockets it back to Carpenter. The back set, Sargent. That was a tip to the kill. That time they caught the tip. This one from Olivia Lamy right in front of yours truly. Could hear it on the radio probably. Judish will come in to play defense for Rocky Mountain College. And back to serve goes Lexi Mickelson for Carroll. Waits for the signal, now has it. Goes cross court with a whistler back to Judish. Here's Lamy to the block. She jammed it to a double block, folks. You had Morgan Christie there, and you had Williams, and somehow Lamy gets it through both of them for the kill. It's a 2-point lead. Hildeman back to Carpenter. Pilgrim will set up her teammate Paige Wolin for the kill. Wolin calls it off the net, and Carroll's back within 1, trying to stay close to Rocky. Into the game comes Kelsey Sargent, and she will go back to play defense on the back row. One of those players from senior high that can play all the positions. Ayla Carpenter to Colin Beck. The set to Lamy. Stuff block on the front row. That time, guess who? Riel Bumgarner. Allie Williams helped out with that stuff, but Bumgarner, boy, it's nice to see her if you're Mo Boyle get some good plays because she fires up the whole team with her effort. 9-9, we're all tied up. Kapinga on target. The flying Kapinga with the play gets it down. They ran that same play where Bad Bear drew off the extra blocker. That left Kapinga with a solo block, and she did the flying Kapinga kill. 10-9 Rocky. She launches from about the 10-foot line. It still ends up in the air at the net. If I launch from there, I'd come down on the 9-foot line, and a kill for Carroll helps them keep up. Paige Wolin gets it off the block and down in front of the second layer of defense from Rocky. 10-10 tie. Carroll trying to turn it around after handing Rocky the first 2 sets. Maddie Quick back to serve. She loops it to the back row. Judish, Hilderman, the Quick. Bad Bear gets it to the floor in the donut hole. Rocky takes the 1-point lead. Annie Cook bounces into the game for Rocky. She will bounce into her service approach here, and you'll see what I'm talking about if you're watching on YouTube. Loads up the jump serve. Call it a bounce serve. Pilgrim sets up Bumgarner. Can't do anything with that set. Hilderman with a dig, and they get it past Bumgarner that time. Gallagher gets the kill. And Rocky, anyway, has its largest lead of this third set. They're up by 2. That's the kind of set it's been. They were up by 2 once before. Here's the bounce serve from Cook. Back to Carpenter, on target to Pilgrim. There's Bumgarner. She gets a touch at the net, doesn't get the kill. Kapenga gets a touch at the net. Cook gets it. Now Bumgarner's going to get the kill. Right over our heads, and I got to shake hands with Annie Cook as she went roaring by on the hustle play. I probably said enough about Bumgarner, but she's earned every one of our accolades here tonight, and she gets that side out. 12-11 Rocky. Back to serve Casey Berry. We're moving through our rotations quickly on this set. Good pass from Cook. The set to Russell. Off the block. Right back to Gallagher. Stuff at the net by Bumgarner. She gets the point. Carroll has tied it up behind superstar Brielle Bumgarner and teammates. And Lori Kelly barks out some instructions in front of us. Gallagher didn't quite close that block. Here's Casey Berry to get Carroll the lead if she can. Annie Cook. Hilderman, Kapenga, dug out by Maddie Quick. To Sargent, cross court, nice dig for Collenbeck. They load up Russell. She is knocked back by the block. Dump shot attempt, swept into the air by a diving Sargent. Pushed over, down the line, Cook makes a nice play. To Russell, Russell is stopped by Bumgarner. Oh my. Rocky's going to be seeing Bumgarner in their sleep. And Carroll has the 13-12 lead. The Bumgarner family is going to want to watch the replay of this if they're not watching right now. Maybe they're used to this. Maybe Brielle does this every game. Her Glacier teammates will enjoy this. Cook, Hilderman, Kapenga, cross court, misses the back line. Carroll's up by 2. 14-12. And Carroll's starting to enjoy the momentum meter here tonight. Casey Berry back to serve. She's pushing the points. Cook, Hilderman to the backside. Kapenga straight down. Carpenter gets the dig back to Kapenga. Kapenga was starting to come down that time. Kept it alive to Bumgarner. She gets dug out. Russell gets the set. She fluffs it in the air. Easy cover. Pilgrim gets fluffed into the air. Some dueling at the net. Back to Kapenga. And another awesome dig for Carroll. Nothing is going down against Carroll. Kapenga gets another load. Bumgarner, another stop. Kapenga right into the meat of the Bumgarner block, and that brings the timeout from Rocky Mountain College. Carroll leads by 3, 15-12. We're back in 30. Kind of wonder about Cola Bad Bear, who's in the stands watching her sister Naomi, but she also played for a couple of years with Kelsey Sargent in her younger years at senior, so she probably has some admiration for her old teammate, and of course lots of admiration for her sister Naomi, who's out on the floor. She told me last night in a special interview on senior night about Naomi Bad Bear recouping and coming back from a blood clot issue that nearly took her life, and here she is playing college volleyball. Casey Berry down the line. Rocky's got to get her out of serve. Gallagher, not that time. A lift called on the set, and Lori Kelly is smoking as she brings in Heaslip. Annie Cook will take a seat. And Caitlin Heaslip from Puyallup, one of my favorite cities to pronounce. And Carroll is up by 4, 16-12. Rocky has not been able to match. And there's Gallagher with the miss. Oh my. Carroll is taking advantage of every mistake right now, and they're up by 5. And Barry's still serving. She's going to have to change her knee brace if she serves so long on it. Maybe you have to oil it up here during a timeout. Barry, back to Heaslip. The set to Russell. Off the top of the block, easy cover for Carpenter. The set to Bumgarner, and she gets hung out to dry by the setter Pilgrim. And finally, Rocky gets the side out as Bumgarner gets one of her first errors in the book. Actually, I saw another one that didn't get noticed. On the night, Kapinga loads up the left hand. Barry gets under it. Barry gets the push down the line. Collenbeck is there. Russell tries the corner, covered. Out to Sargent, down the line. Great play for Kapinga. Back to Russell on the set. Carpenter is equal to the dig. And Sargent shoots it long and out. Sargent on her heels pushed it out the back door. 17-14. Haley Kapinga back to serve. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 93.3 FM and also on YouTube. Here's Sargent, and she misses. Turned her hips a little bit just when she was releasing that swing, and she hooked it out of bounds, and now Rocky within 2. It's Carroll pulling some errors out of their bag, and Mickelson will come into the game for Sargent. She'll be back quickly. Just a quick chat with Mo Boyle. Cool off her errorness of the last 2 plays, and they'll have her back in. Maddie Quick, the set to Bumgarner. This time Heaslip gets the dig. To Kapinga for the back row attack. Quick is equal to it. The set to the outside. Mickelson dug out by Heaslip. Hilderman to Russell. Russell high bounce off the block. Carpenter gets there. The set to the middle to Bumgarner. That's going to be on the floor. Bumgarner answers the call one more time and gets the side out for Carroll. And into the game for Carroll comes Morgan Christie. Number 13 will take her place on the front row. Laurel Casa back to serve for the Saints. 18-15 Carroll. Heaslip passes perfectly to Hilderman. Back row attack to Kapinga. Barry with a dig. Push over by Pilgrim to the open corner. Heaslip got caught out of position. Carroll is 1 point away from being at 20. 19-15 on the accurate push on the front row in front of the diving Heaslip. Laurel Casa back to serve. This is one of the rare times this year that Rocky is actually playing this coming off a loss. Overpass and a blown put away on the front row for Morgan Christie. Side out Rocky. They're within reach, folks. Don't count out Rocky in this third set. They're only 3 down, and they are the number 8 team in the country after all. Daniela Russell back to serve. She also has the knee wrap. Serves it to the other knee wrap specialist. Tight to the net, Mickelson, pushed down by Rocky, covered somehow by Carroll. Here's Hilderman, the slide set to Gallagher. Perfect dig for Quick. To Mickelson, she twists it off the block for the kill. Gallagher doesn't close the block. Into the game comes Collenbeck. Carroll's at 20, 20-16. And back to serve for the Saints, Raina Pilgrim. Raina will move about 3 steps off the line and launch her stationary serve out. Ouch. And she opens the door a crease for Rocky. And Rocky's at 17. Back into the front row comes Bad Bear. Watch for that play that we've seen Kapinga and Bad Bear run. And Rocky needs it now. Gallagher rolls that up Mickelson's chest, but a pass comes out of it, pushed over. Williams gets knocked back, right back to Rocky. Here's the set to Lamy off the block. Easy cover by Barry. The set goes down. This time she gets it put away by Morgan Christie. And Carroll's 4 points away from taking the third set. Lexi Mickelson back to serve for the Saints. She's right in the middle of the floor. Mickelson skims the net. Judish makes the pass. Back row attack from Lamy. Perfect dig for Carpenter. The set out to Moran, covered. Judish has it. And a push through the block by Hilderman. Point Rocky. And they pull within 3 again. Carroll played the bouncer there. Here's Sargent. I promised you she'd be back. She's back. And she'll make a play or two between now and the end of this set. Hilderman right back to Sargent. Pops it up a little bit. The set goes to Moran. She misses. Rocky's 2 points away from tying it up. Paige Wolin, my bad to the Wolin family. She's the one that hit that one. And Mo Boyle calls the timeout. 21-19 Carroll. Rocky's up 2 sets to none. Carroll's trying to take a set here at First Interstate Bank Court, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. Rocky trying to sweep away Carroll, but they're down right now, 21-19. Lori Kelly releases her troops first. Now Mo Boyle has her instructions for her team. Back to serve, Natalie Hilderman from Red Lodge, the setter for Rocky Mountain College. Hilderman loads up the bouncer, back to Carpenter. Pilgrim will go to the middle, into the block, covered, and run down by Carpenter. The set to Wolin, covered, and Lamy gets Rocky within one. Olivia Lamy. This one's going down to the wire. We're going to get extra numbers on this one. We'll see. And for the first time tonight, Brenna Stauffer comes in for the Fighting Saints. Hilderman waits for everything to settle down, now loads up the jump serve, and Carpenter has a perfect pass once again. Tipped over by Wolin. Bad Bear pushes, right there is Pilgrim. Back to Wolin for the 22nd point for Carroll off of Lamy. Carroll back up by 2. And Carroll is back to serve with Ayla Carpenter. To the bench goes Stauffer. Right back into the game comes Williams, so she had a 1-point appearance there. Carpenter will try to get Carroll 1 point closer. Good pass. The flying Kapinga dug out by Kelsey Sargent. Sargent back row attack through the block and down. Carroll's 2 points away. Teammates against each other. Sargent twists it off the Bad Bear block for the kill. 23-20, Carroll College. And Carroll's Ayla Carpenter back to serve. Down the line. Judish, perfect pass to Hilderman. And a double is called on the set. Carroll has Rocky at set point. 24-20. Carroll trying to not get swept here and get their first set win and see what happens. Ayla Carpenter from the left corner. Set point. Judish calls the pass to Hilderman. Lamy rolls it over the top. Pilgrim has the dig. The set to Williams. Down the line. Covered by Collenbeck. Kapinga through the block and down. Side out Rocky. The block was there. They didn't close out the Kapinga swing. Ruby Collenbeck back to serve. 24-21 Carroll. Rocky fought off the first set point. Perfect pass to Pilgrim. The set to Bumgarner. She didn't get the finish that time. To Russell. High bounce off the block. Carpenter gets it. To the backside. Williams pushes it over to Hilderman. That's a miss by Kapinga, and Carroll wins the third set. 25-21. We're back in 2.5 with set number 4.
If you or a loved one has difficulty taking medication due to an inability to swallow pills, the taste or texture of medicine, or a combination of prescriptions, ask the experienced pharmacist at Billings Pharmacy One about compounding, made from scratch to get you on the road to good health with the least discomfort possible. Billings Pharmacy One is the leader in compounding. Online at BillingsPharmacy1,1.com, or at 2900 12th Avenue North, or call 245-6717.
Through the third set, Rocky is hitting 185, Carroll 163. The leading attack person for Carroll is Brielle Bumgarner with 10 kills and 20 swings, 1 error, 450. Rocky hit 122 in the third set. Carroll hit 184. Huge blocking advantage for Carroll tonight, 10-4 through the third set. Ayla Carpenter with 22 digs already. Ruby Collenbeck with 16. 2 players for Rocky with 10 kills, Kapinga and Lamy. Kapinga hitting .075 and Lamy 250. So Rocky gives up a set to Carroll. Carroll will now have an opportunity to tie it up at 2 sets apiece if they can take this one. And we will see if Rocky can recover from that third set loss as Hildeman loads it up. Cross court. Sargent to Pilgrim. The set to Wolin. On the floor for Carroll. Carroll leads. Kapinga couldn't close the block that time. Paige Wolin gets the first kill. And Ayla Carpenter goes back to serve, and Mo Boyle was bringing Bumgarner in earlier now. That's a good move. That happened the last set, and Carroll won it. And a give back for Ayla Carpenter. And her face shows the expression of someone who sure didn't want to do that. She is hard on herself after that miss. We're tied up at 1. Collenbeck back to serve. So back-to-back libero servers here at First Interstate Bank Court. Ruby Collenbeck back to serve down the line. Overpass. Here's the attack. The Russell. Russell cross court miss. They call a tip. Give Russell the kill. And Rocky leads 2-1. Line judge over here immediately called the tip. And Mo Boyle can't believe it. And Collenbeck waits for they already had gone through with the substitution, and Pilgrim goes over to ask who did it. And the upper ref is going to tell her that the line judge called it. So Carroll a little bit confused there after they thought they had the miss, and the touch was called by the line judge. Collenbeck down the line, Carpenter up to Pilgrim. To the middle, Bumgarner gets dug out by Judish. Here's Russell, to the floor for Russell, and Rocky's up by 2, 3-1. Collenbeck pushing some points early in this fourth set. Carroll thought they had it tied up on the miss, and then the line judge called the touch immediately. There was no doubt in her mind. The set to Williams, push back, and it's a kill for Williams. Carroll gets the side out. Allie Williams from Coeur d'Alene gets that kill. And into the game comes Maddie Quick to join her Capital teammate, Raina Pilgrim, on the floor. Quick gathers herself, serves it to Russell. Here's Kapinga. She can't launch into that one. It's behind her. The set to Bumgarner down the line. Collenbeck is there. Russell pushes behind the block. Right there is Wolin. And Bumgarner tries again, dug out again. Here's Kapinga. She can launch into that one. Would have hit it out. Quick played it. Pushed over by Pilgrim, and it's called a lift. Way too much hand on that one for Pilgrim, and Rocky's up 4-2. And Coach Boyle is having some issues with the refs right now. Annie Cook back in the game after being benched the last set. And Lori Williams coming back with her, and she will get the ace. That'll keep her in the game. Right in front of us, Kelsey Sargent can't hit the drop ball back, and Rocky's up by 3, 5-2. Annie Cook will load it up again. 29 aces on the year for Annie Cook. Carpenter perfect. Pilgrim, the behind the back, behind the block dump, and Kapinga gets her 11th kill through the block and down, and Rocky's rolling in the fourth set. Maureen Boyle calls the timeout. She can't afford to let Rocky get away. Calls the timeout. We're back in 30. So Maureen Boyle hangs on to her team a little bit longer than Rocky. Rocky is trying to right their ship after giving up a set to Carroll in the third set. And now we will see the gals in purple being released from their timeout. Rocky grabbed momentum with a 4-point lead here already in the fourth set after Carroll had stumped them there in the third set with a win, 25-21. Annie Cook waits. Now we'll have the signal as the timeout timer expires and the buzzer goes off. 6-2 Rocky out of the timeout. Cook back to serve. Carpenter chases Pilgrim a little. The set to Woolen goes back to Carroll on the one-arm stab to the middle. Bumgarner covered by Russell. Gallagher covered by Sargent, but she can't steer it back to her teammates. Russell with a heads-up push there on a cross, and Rocky comes out of the timeout, keeps the pressure on, now up by 5. And Bumgarner has cooled off all of a sudden, but the first 3 sets already put her in the Carroll Hall of Fame. A block on the Bumgarner swing. Out to Woolen, high bounce off the block, easy cover for Cook. The set out to Russell, Russell off the block. Sargent has the dig. Back to Woolen, pushes it back to Cook. Perfect pass to Gallagher. Gallagher diving save for Sargent, and then pushed out the back door by Pilgrim. Point Rocky. 8-2. Carroll scrambling everywhere, but they're not able to get the side out, and Jenna Stark will come into the game. She is number 8 for Carroll College. Annie Cook back to serve. Tries the short one, a reach for Sargent. The set to Woolen. Long run on the deflection by Kapinga. Gallagher pushes it, covered by Sargent. The slide set to Stark, covered by Kapinga. Bump set off the net to the floor, and Gallagher gets that one for Rocky. 9-2. Rocky not looking back here in the fourth set, and they're not taking Carroll for granted. The crowd waits while Annie Cook ties her shoe. She's ready, and we will fire it up with the left hand, middle of the floor, just over the net. Kelsey Sargent, perfect to Pilgrim. Pushed over by Stark, right to Cook. To the backside, Kapinga to the floor. She's warming up here in the fourth set. And we get the game ball to us. 2 balls now I've had to work for here tonight. It's always a privilege to help out the flow of the game. 10-2 Rocky. They are not looking back in this fourth set and not taking Carroll lightly. Pushed over by Bumgarner. She's covered. Out to Russell. Russell bounce off the block. Pancake beautifully by Wallen to keep it alive. Back out to Russell. She gets off the block and down. Bumgarner was there, and Rocky scores again as Bumgarner steers it out off the block. Couldn't close the block that time. Russell scores the kill. Annie Cook loads it up yet again, pushing a bunch of points here and getting Rocky out of reach. Pilgrim to Wallen, feathers it off the block. That's going to be Carroll side out finally. 11-3 on the Paige Wallen kill. Into the game comes Lexi Nicholson, Casey Berry in the game. Rocky enjoys the 8-point lead after the first third of the fourth set. Casey Berry poses, now pushed in play back to Kapinga. The set back to Kapinga from Hilderman, smashes it off quick, covered, and Bumgarner smashes it off Hilderman. Free ball by Rocky will set up the attack for Carroll. Carpenter goes for the dump shot, and it's called a lift by Pilgrim. And she is grimacing, doesn't agree with that call. Rocky up by 9. And Kapinga goes back to serve for the Battlin Bears. Cross court to Casey Berry. She chases Pilgrim. The set back to Bumgarner for the miss. And Bumgarner's stats are going south here in this fourth set as Rocky has finally solved her, and she's going to take a seat as Jenna Stark comes in. Boy, Carroll really rode her enthusiasm early, but in this fourth set, Rocky has finally solved her. Kapinga bumped into the air for Pilgrim, pushed over, Hilderman is right there. Bump set for Gallagher. Off the top of the block, Carpenter with a nice dig off the Russell swing. Nicholson is dug out by Kapinga on a down the line smash. Maddie quick to set out to Lexi Nicholson, another cover for Rocky. They're playing lights out right now. Pilgrim goes back to work to Mickelson and missed out the back door, but they get the touch call. So a side out for Carroll on the touch call on a ball that sailed out the back door thanks to a fingernail touch by Rocky at the net. 13-4. Laurel Casa back to serve for Carroll. Casa will set up stationary-wise. Launch. Short ball. Gallagher runs right in front of the intended receiver. Kapinga bounces it off the net, gets the kill off of Barry. Rockies up by 10. They gave up that third set, and boy, that got them snorting here, and they're playing very well here in the fourth set, trying to erase that third set memory. Daniela Russell back to serve for the Battling Bears. Deep ball to Maddie Quick. They try the slide set. Doesn't work. The overpass put away on the front row by Lexi Mickelson. Point Carroll. Morgan Christie put it in play. Too hard for Rocky Mountain College to control the pass, and it went right into the arms of Carroll College for the put away. 14-5 Rocky. 9-point lead. Pilgrim down the line. Cook pops it up. Hilderman settles under it. Talami. Cross court for the miss. Just out the back door. Boy, two players gambled on that one for Carroll, and they're breathing a sigh of relief as that settled about 6 inches outside the yellow line. 14-6. Carroll trying to get something going here. Down by 8. Pilgrim floats it back to Cook. Kind of a strange-looking pass. Wami misses. 3 in a row for Carroll. And now things are getting interesting. Heaslip will come in for Annie Cook. That substitution has happened a couple of times in this one. Cook got benched in that third set, and Heaslip played most of the second half of the set. Here's Pilgrim again with the float back to Collenbeck. The slide set to Gallagher. Stopper from Mickelson. Carroll roaring back. 14-8. Lori Kelly can't be more than a point or two for Carroll from calling the timeout. All behind the serving of Raina Pilgrim for Carroll College. She got called with a couple of passing errors already in this set. She is making up for it. There's an ace. Doesn't matter who's back there. Pilgrim gets the ace off of Heaslip. Lori Kelly stalking the sideline, trying to know which button to push here to get the side out for her Rocky team. 14-9. Pilgrim loads it up again. She has taken over this game at serve. Heaslip on target to Hilderman for that blind dump. Wow. When Hilderman pulls that out, she says, Herm, this one's coming to you, and nobody on the Carroll team knows it. And Hilderman gets the put down, heads up play for the center to get the side out, hopefully to get her team playing again. The bump serve covered by Carroll to Williams. She gets the tip killed off the top of the block. And Carroll sticking with Rocky now. They're down by 5, hoping to close as Wallen comes into the game for the Saints. Lexi Nicholson back to serve. Everybody into this game right now. Collenbeck, flat pass out to Lamy off the block. Great save from Nicholson. No one's going to get there. Lamy with the kill. 16-10. And Rocky will be content to match points all the way to the finish as they have the 6-point bulge as Kelsey Sargent comes into the game for Carroll. We got Western Rocky tomorrow to wrap up a big week of games on KURL. Long run for Pilgrim. A bump set to Wallen. Deep ball. Judas is there, but it's tight to the net. Nobody can get there. Give Wallen the kill. And Carroll's back within 5. Ayla Carpenter goes back to serve. Into the game comes Jenna Stark for the Saints. She's number 8 in your program. Carpenter, stationary launch. Down the line, Judas on target to Hilderman. Outside Lamy through the block. That's a twister off the block and down. Jenna Stark couldn't close it. Lamy pays it off, gets the side out. Back to a 6-point lead. Stark hits the bench. And she will give way to Brielle Bumgarner, who's hoping to reignite this Carroll team as Ruby Collenbeck goes back to serve. Down the line, perfect pass to Pilgrim, to Bumgarner, high bounce off the block. Kapinga sweeps under it to Lamy. Carpenter with a dig. We're back to Brielle Bumgarner, punched into the air with accuracy by Hilderman, tipped behind the block. Pilgrim makes the play. Bump set by Carpenter to Wallen. Judish has the dig. Hilderman to Kapinga, the flying Kapinga gets it down. Right in front of Pilgrim. They had a classic matchup at the state tournament about 4 years ago when Kapinga was a junior and Pilgrim was a junior. Skyview won that one. It was one of my favorite games to call ever as it went to 5 and it went to extra numbers. We got a timeout. Rocky takes the 18-11 lead over Carroll, forcing the Mo Boyle timeout. We're back in 30 seconds.
Treat yourself and do something nice for somebody else when you stop by the store and check out the Jill. When you purchase a Jill, you'll be getting a vacuum cleaner that is exceptional, and the best part is that with every purchase of a Jill, a portion of the proceeds will benefit Jill's Jill, which is a foundation that benefits families that are struggling with the hardships dealing with breast cancer. Get a great vacuum cleaner and make a difference in someone's life. Stop up by the store today because we've got a Jill waiting for you.
Back to the history lesson here with Herm. History with Herm in state volleyball, but it was a classic matchup between Skyview and Capital on Friday night, and Haley Kapinga and the gal from Helena Capital, Pilgrim, just went at it the entire match, and somehow Skyview survived, and it was Haley Kapinga with a monstrous 22 or 23 kill match. And she basically willed her team to make it to Saturday play. That's where it ended for Skyview. But these two have a long history of competing against each other, much to the delight of fans who watch them play. Here's Collenbeck. Rocky 7 points away from closing out Carroll. Pilgrim goes backside and gets the kill, as coming on the set is Allie Williams to get side out. That makes it 6 points. Williams hits the bench. Into the game comes Maddie Quick. She was part of that game as well. Quick will set up in the middle of the floor. I think it was a win for senior in that one. Here's Kapinga. The set's behind her. Can't get anything on it. Pilgrim out to Wallen for the corner kill. And Carroll's back within 5 on the Paige Wallen seeing eye kill into the corner. That's the kind of thing that comes out of a timeout. Those coaches can see when defenders are leaning one way or the other and guide their hitters to take it a certain area, and Wallen got the perfect set. Here's Russell. She misses. It's a 4-point game. Carroll scores 3 straight out of the timeout. Trying to send this to a 5-set match, and who knows what happens when you go to that 5th set. Carroll trying to get the first loss pinned on Rocky on their home floor. And a running cover by Judish to Kapinga. Cross court would have been out. Played by Quick. The set to Bumgarner. Into the corner. It's going to find the floor. Bumgarner's back. And she celebrates. And Carroll has fought back to within 3. Another huge lead for Rocky is gone as Carroll refusing to go away quietly. And Rocky has to call the timeout. It's 18-15 in the 4th set. Rocky leads 2 sets to 1. We're back in 30 seconds.
It's been estimated as much as 80% of the learning a child does occurs through his or her eyes. Doctors Doug and Kevin McBride, Joe Steiner, and Sean Lepstock will make sure poor vision is not impairing your child's ability to learn or perform on the field. Call Doctors McBride, Steiner, and Lepstock at 656-7605 or stop by 2120 Grand Avenue to schedule an appointment or go online at McBrideVision.com.
So if you're watching on YouTube tonight, just tell us where you were watching. Always good to know and who you're rooting for. Just put that in your little comment thing there on the YouTube page, and send us an email on herm@KURLradio.com if you're listening down the line on KURLradio.com tonight. Glad to have you along. If you enjoy volleyball, you're enjoying this match. Here's Maddie Quick. Gathers herself, floats it over. Russell with a perfect pass. The quick set to Kapinga. They ran the play, and Ayla Carpenter measured it. Back row attack. Blocked back by Bad Bear. Carroll covers it. Wallen into the block. Never got over the net. Point Rocky. And Rocky takes the point out of the timeout on a miss for Wallen. 19-15. Carroll in desperate mode here. They need to stay with Rocky and somehow make up some points. Cook pushes it over. Carpenter. Wallen gets the kill on the other side. She had the error on this side, got the side out, takes Carroll back to within 3, 19-16 when she went to the other side. Went to the right side and got the kill after she missed on the outside. Casey Berry back to serve. You got to think she's enjoying this one as it's her first match back. Cook steers it over to Kapinga. Bump set to Russell. And a stuff. Carroll point. It's a 2-point game. Russell gets stuffed by Brielle Bumgarner. Heaslip will come into the game for Cook. Lori Kelly has been rotating those two over the last 2 sets. Casey Berry will try to get it to a 1-point game. Berry deep ball. Heaslip on target to Hildeman. The quick to Gallagher. She gets the answer for Rocky. 20-17. Twists it off the block of Bumgarner. Haley Kapinga back to serve, so she's off the front line now, but watch out for her back row attack. She's still part of the attack package, even though she's moving off the line. Tight to Pilgrim. Kapinga saw it coming. Beautiful play. Gallagher behind the block. Carpenter measures it to Mickelson. Fluffed by Russell, but covered, and Kapinga into the net. It's a 2-point game on the Kapinga miss. 20-18. Don't go anywhere. College volleyball at its best on 93.3 FM and YouTube. Laurel Casa back to serve for Carroll. Herm Elenbaas with the call. Laurel Casa takes it back to Heaslip. Overpass put away by Mickelson. Mickelson gobbles it up, tips it away from Kapinga. 20-19. Carroll has fought all the way back, and they can tie it up with this one. Cook back in the game. Determination on the faces of Carroll. They don't want to give up that big lead. Go ahead and make it interesting, but Rocky wants to close down on Carroll here in this 4th set, not take it to the 5th. Casa pushes it back to Collenbeck. They're going to try Russell, and a shank into the crowd. Rocky's up by 2. Casa has been picked on by that attack when she's been in there as server. Tapping twice, and she's given up the point twice. So a little bit of coaching there by Rocky as well as Russell goes back to serve, picking that attack victim from Carroll, and it worked that time. And you could see the expression on Casa's face that it's happened before. Flat pass up to Pilgrim to Mickelson. Blocked at the net, covered by Carroll. Back to Mickelson. She finds the corner for the 1-point deficit. Mickelson saw the corner open and hit it. 21-20 in the 4th set. Williams comes into the game for Carroll. To the bench goes Maddie Quick. And back to serve Raina Pilgrim. Carroll for the tie. Make it a blackjack score. Hildeman to Lamy, cross court. Carpenter read it. The set to Mickelson. Same spot, corner, we're tied up. Mickelson, the corner specialist. She has done that 3 times in this set. We are squared away at 21-21. Both teams are excited about this one, but Rocky just gave up a huge lead, and Carroll has tied it up. Pilgrim for the lead. Calmly puts it to Cook. Russell gets stuffed, popped in the air by Rocky. Russell back to work, or Lamy back to work, gets the lead for Rocky. Misdirected at the net by the block of Williams, 22-21. Miranda Gallagher, one of the top 3 servers for Rocky, at the line, trying to do her thing with the bump serve. Flat pass, Pilgrim saves the day for now, pushed over by Williams. Swept into the air, back row attack for Kapinga. Right there, tight to the net on the Pilgrim pass. Swept over by Williams. On the attack to Lamy. To the floor, Rocky leads 23-21. she splits the defenders on the back line for the kill. Miranda Gallagher will try to take Rocky to set point, match point. Right under the basketball hoop, loads up the three-step approach. Carpenter makes the pass to Pilgrim. They go back to the backside to Mickelson, who's been hot lately. Out to Lamy, who's also been hot. She gets the kill. Rocky has Carroll at set point, match point, after Carroll tied it up at 21. And into the game for Carroll comes Brenna Stauffer. Set point, match point for Rocky. Boy, Carroll has given Rocky everything they could handle tonight. One of the best servers for Rocky. Miranda Gallagher will try to take it home. Deep to Carpenter, calmly passes it to Pilgrim. Here's Mickelson, a double is called on the set, and that's how it ends. 25-21, it ends with a setting error called by the up ref, and Rocky goes phew and picks up conference win number 7. We're back in 2 minutes to wrap up this awesome volleyball match at Rocky Mountain College.